Hello, everyone. Doing a quick mic check. How's everyone doing? Good. Thank you.
Yes.
January 12th, 2026 meeting. I will call the meeting to order at 6:31 PM.
I'll make a motion to open.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Supposed to do roll call.
Oh, sorry.
Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
I guess we can hear you.
All right.
How come we don't see your picture?
Ed?
Because I'm sitting by a
We gotta do
beautiful
roll call
pool.
Oh, yeah, right.
Kim?
Yes. What's that?
Roll call vote.
Oh,
Oh, stop.
here.
Linda?
Then no, we don't want
Patrick?
to see it.
Aye.
Yes. DJ?
DJ McNulty here.
Leah?
Yeah, I'm here.
Elaine?
Yes.
Here.
Perfect. Okay.
Mike, you vote yes to open the meeting?
Yeah, Mike, sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
In the pool.
All right, so first order of business we have this evening is continued discussion on the historic tree project scope modification that was tabled at the last meeting. Now, this was for the $4,400 for a brush mower.
Ah, that was it. Brush mower.
So I had spoken with a couple of different landscapers who, and the theory with how to handle the evasives is kind of all over the place depending who you talk to. I talked to 3 different landscapers and got 3 different answers. Some say digging it out is a more efficient way to get rid of it faster. Yes, it takes, a bigger burden at first, but you're not continually maintaining it. So that's kind of where I live on this. I actually had a resident reach out after the last meeting and volunteer to bring his tractor down there and actually try, if that's something you would be open to. I would,
To rip it out, though.
to dig it out. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts on it.
My experience with Virginia Creeper was that it needed to be taken out. The rest of it was just, maybe crazy. You'd have to do it all the time.
Hey, Mike, would you have an opposition to somebody from the town trying to dig it out? See what happens?
I want to make a motion to table this,
Okay.
not quite ready to discuss it.
I'll second that.
I'll take.
All right, roll call on it.
Ed?
Yes.
Kim?
Yep, fine.
Linda?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
DJ?
Yes.
Leah?
Yep.
Elaine?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Okay, tabled and done. Next up, we have approval of minutes from the 10/6/25 meeting and the 11/17/25 meeting.
I'll move to approve both sets of minutes.
You want to do them one at a time because there's people that were here that
Oh, fair enough.
not at both of them.
I'll move to approve the minutes from 10/6/2025.
Second.
All right. So do the roll call vote on that. Ed, you were not here for that one, so Kim?
I'll abstain.
I wasn't here either.
I approve.
Approve.
You weren't here, Linda.
You abstain.
You abstained. You weren't here.
I approve.
I'm a yes.
Yes.
DJ's a yes.
I wasn't here.
Okay. Elaine?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
All right, 10/6/25 approved.
I'll move to approve the 11/17/2025 meeting minutes.
Second.
All right,
Who wasn't
Ed?
here?
Everyone.
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Myself, yes. DJ?
Yes.
Yep.
Leah? Yeah.
Yes.
Elaine? Mike?
Yes.
Okay. Minutes approved.
It was easy.
Tearing right through this stuff.
Yeah. Fresh blood, January.
Next up, we have 2025 project updates. No movement on the Congregational Church bell. They're still hung up on the preservation restriction,
You hung up on the what?
getting a preservation restriction.
Isn't that something that they?
They have concerns about it, they were working on it, and I don't really know where it stands.
Oh, that was not on the new ones. Okay.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
The trail enhancement project, Patrick, if you have anything.
Sure. We're starting to make some progress on purchasing in that project. As you may remember, we have repaired one of the bridges that was the most in need of repair. That happened back in October. We've supplementally gotten, Jim Laffrey is going to make 6 kiosks for us, which is a great boon on the project and the project cost and budgetary side of it. So we have purchased wood and lumber and all the materials necessary for him to do that. I believe he's going to start work on that in March. But it's right in line with budget. In fact, we're going to be a little bit under budget on that item. We're also getting trail markers. We've also procured trail markers, and we're going to be getting some associated hardware that goes with that. The next step is Mike Dempsey and I are going to go out and make sure we locate where all the trail markers are going to be on all the trails. We're going to be discussing how we're going to name the new as of yet unnamed trails that are out there on these trails, the sort of sub paths, and we'll have a further update, in the coming weeks about that. But happy about the progress. There was a very large budget for lumber, and I think we're going to be way under that. So there is a possibility we might be able to use some of that overage to take care of some of the places where we were a little under, where we were under. One of the items on the list that was budgeted for was, let me pull it up. Oh, and I'll pass around, just so you guys can see what the bridge looked like. And we did agree to put the second railing on, and I believe that wood has been purchased and that work is being done, so I'll pass this around. But the kiosks, there's a design here as well that I'm gonna pass around, and that is what they're gonna look like. And if the craftsmanship on the bridge is any indication about how the kiosk will look, it'll be better than anything we could purchase. So, so I'm really excited to see one of those live, and he's gonna get working on that as well. So, this way.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
What kind of wood is being used?
Mike?
Pressure treated lumber, pressure treated pine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's throughout on essentially everything, right?
Yes.
We had a wetland scientist fee for notice of intent permit filings on this one. And I think we had talked about whether to potentially bifurcate some of this into the next year, particularly because the benches were so much more expensive than we thought they would be. And the connecting bridge between Center Street Greenway and the rail trail, was also was gonna be a significant cost. The wetland scientist fee was allocated for that bridge. So I think in the sense of trying to keep that project moving forward, there's a time gap between when that happens and then when you can build. And so in order to keep things moving and everything moving forward, I think we'll try to keep the scientist fee part of this moving forward, and maybe even if we budget the actual building of the bridge
In the next.
in the next cycle. But we'd already accounted for it, and the whole reason for putting up a 2026 project at all is to have sort of cost transparency, so people can see, oh, this wasn't 10 times out of whack or something like that. So Mike and I are gonna continue to work on that. We may actually pull the 2026 and, we'll see what we're gonna do, but the point is, we just wanna make sure that we're transparent with people of town and that we continue making progress on this. But I'm happy from Blimp View that things are moving forward and we're getting in good shape.
Where do we stand with the compactors? I know those were ordered quite some time ago at this point.
Right, so I talked to Rebecca probably a little bit before the holiday, and she said that they'd been ordered, and I was like, are they gonna be in this year? And she said, she thought that they would be, first quarter this year. But that they were ordered, that there's gonna be one at over by the Bagnell where the rail trail breaks over across School Street, and then one at the terminus on Main. Those are really good locations for the Big Bellies because they're easy to access from the road.
Excellent. And then the trash cans and waste receptacles kind of coming along with it.
Kind of coming along with it. I've gotten some estimates from the folks that we're allowed to use, and I need them to break things up because we might be ordering in parts, because like I said, the benches may not come until until the next fiscal year or later in this year. So we still have some work to do on that. I should have an update on that in the next meeting.
How many trash receptacles did we purchase?
We haven't purchased them yet.
How much was it budgeted for?
The trash containers, we had 3,000 budgeted for trash containers. We had 2,000 budgeted for dog waste containers.
Okay, and that would have been quantity of what?
Off the top of my head, I don't have it in front of me, but
Okay.
I have the information. I'm happy to provide it.
No problem.
But,
No, I'm just interested.
No, for sure. And when, with the Big Bellies, we were able to take a little bit away and,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
so some of that. So, I'll have them, I had, in the project, there's a detailed thing. I just don't have it in front of me.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions on the trail enhancement?
Is there a map?
So.
All of the trails?
Right. So actually, one of the things that we were able to do that didn't cost us anything was we were able to get a fellow from West Newbury who had some mapping skills and whatnot, and did some work on, he did the town forest map for West Newbury. And he's agreed to gratis, do the mapping for us on these on the trails, so that everything will be, it'll, all sort of be uniform as far as how it looks, and based on how he's done the prior work, it all looks great.
You were actually gonna electronically map them too, correct?
Right, so when we get down there and start placing the stakes, so we bought some stakes so that we can not lock down where we're gonna put all the trail markers. And so those can be geolocated, and so those positions should be on the maps. So that when you're looking at the map, which is an accurate representation of how far it is from here, from A to B, you'll also know, oh, I'm in spot 15. And, so, and it's right here on the map right here. So, those sorts of things, we're gonna take advantage of being able to use, codes to, you can map it with your phone, you can scan it in
Right,
and,
yeah, yeah.
instead of have electronic map, instead of wasting a bunch of money printing up a ton of paper maps and things like that, as people adopt the new technology, right?
Some of us.
Well, right, and so we'll still have some, but this is the point. The point is to have it so it's more accessible. When you have a QR code asking for donations instead of a little box that, gets worn and old after some time, or gets broken into, or who knows what. Like, these are some things that we don't currently have that we can have that are, they don't cost us anything really to do. And, so I found really good support from folks about this, but the gentleman who's putting together these maps is doing a bang-up job. And as soon as we're able to geolocate where all the markers are gonna be, they're gonna be able to be up and all in the same place and easy to access.
I think that a map, even whether it's digital.
No, we already have maps, and I believe they're already on the website, the town's website, but they're not all uniform. They're not all uniform in the way that they've been put together, so it's,
And if, you correct me if I'm wrong, on these kiosks is going to be a map?
right, exactly. And, with a QR code saying, here's the map, you can look at it on your phone, right?
Yeah.
And so.
Here, take this with you.
Right, exactly so. And so, so again, it's about modernizing things in a way that is much easier to access, and so you have a lot of different ways to do it that aren't costly or require town effort.
I was asking about the geocaching thing. Your kids, I don't know if your kids do that, but that's been a thing my grandson's doing. And in Maine, they have, their trails are part of that system. So,
Funny, that's awesome.
yeah, it's a fun thing. Yeah.
All right. Good on trail project? All right, we'll move on to the affordable housing project. That's in the town administrator report here. The consultant is finalizing the project report, which is expected to be submitted by the end of the month. The consultant has also requested to attend and present findings to the CPC at its February meeting.
What? Where is it?
That'll be good to see where that stands and what we can do with that. Moving on to update from town administrator. Just a couple updates on some other projects here. The Perry Park feasibility. The project manager, Stephanie Bartelt, has submitted an application for Phase 2 design and bid documents. She will appear before the CPC at an upcoming meeting to present the application. In addition, Stephanie is currently preparing the project closeout report. On the cemetery monument preservation project, the project closeout report is nearing completion and is scheduled to be submitted to the CPC for the February 26th meeting. And then on the shade and seating at the Pines, the shade structures have been delivered to the highway yard. Installation is planned for the spring once ground conditions allow. And that concludes the update from Rebecca. All right, now for what everybody's dying to get into. We're gonna go and do a first look here at the 2026 projects. So we'll just go in order of the way the binder is because it'll make it easy for everybody. So first one up is the acknowledgement signage.
Yay.
I think this is a worthwhile endeavor. What I did notice on this, Mike, was that there are some of these in the list that are done, partially done, or being procured, so we should just verify that before we move forward.
Yep.
That's really, I mean, this one's pretty cut and dry. It's something we've been looking to do. It'll help kind of close out these projects. But I didn't really have a ton of questions on that one. I don't know if any-
And future projects are supposed to incorporate this
Into the
concept
budget.
into that budget.
I noticed that a couple of the projects that we're gonna review that are submitted for 26, they did have a $500 sign allowance,
Yeah,
in the budget item.
okay, well, we can certainly,
So
certainly look into that.
we don't wanna
Double down.
double down, exactly.
So I had two things. One, can this fall under administrative, being that these are the signs, like, for our?
No,
Does it have to
because
go under-
it's a project specific. If it was just saying, I remember we asked Stuart this, if it was just saying, you know, hey, this is, you know, your CPA dollars at work, that'd be fine to use administrative, but because it's project specific, that's why we asked Mike to put it up as a project this year instead of doing the administrative when we were doing the other signs.
Okay. And
How does it be project specific? This field has been blah, blah, blah?
These pickleball
Oh,
courts
okay.
have been,
So it mentions the
Yeah.
project, okay.
So at the Pines, though, for example, there'd be a rock or something that would have, 17 different little placards on it? I mean, is that the kind of concept?
no, actually, the Pines one looked pretty good, because there was one for the skate park, one for the pickleball court. And then there was gonna be one, I think it's good, because it like spreads it around, so
I see.
if you don't play pickleball and you skateboard,
Right.
you're gonna know,
I see what you mean.
I kinda like the idea of that one being spread around.
Oh, okay.
But then like the Washington Hall, there was a handful of projects on that's just gonna be one sign that's gonna
On the
cover all
front
of
of the
them.
building, yeah.
And my only other question, sorry, I saw there's 27 projects, is that, so we're basing the 54K off of 27 projects? Is that,
It looks to be that, I
When I
mean,
did
there's
that- when
like 27 listed over here.
that, this, okay.
Yeah.
So these signs are roughly costing 2,000 per sign?
Comment, Mike?
Yes, yes. And that's installed.
Do you have or can you
Good question.
get like a mock-up or a rendering of what these signs are gonna look like?
Not yet. I'm working on it. We have it. It's been, I have a vendor involved, but he's just been way too busy, so he owes it to us.
Okay. Like I say, we're not voting on any of these tonight anyway, we're just kinda hashing them out, so. Ed, did you have something?
Yeah, I did. Just a question for Mike. At Washington Hall, that there's already a sign over there, or are you looking to make them all uniform?
Yeah, they're gonna be all uniform. That sign that was there was ordered a couple of years ago, as you probably know, and we didn't give them directions when they ordered it, so it turned out the way it did, which really isn't consistent with what we wanted to say.
Okay.
Any other questions on the acknowledgement signs before we move on? All right, next up, we have Bagnell basketball courts and play area. This one was put forward by Rebecca and Arthur at the behest of some parents over at the Bagnell.
Yeah,
There's a 10,000 letters in support of this.
yeah, at least that.
It is pretty beat up over there, having 3 children in school there. It is beat up. I did have a couple questions on it. One of the why are we doing concrete instead of a hot top? And so I would assume concrete's a lot more expensive than doing the hot top. I'm guessing there's less,
That's what
that kind of stuff, yeah.
Right. I
Um,
would imagine there's less wear and tear, and it's probably better for putting the surface down on.
And then the color seemed, like, I saw dark blue.
It was blue and yellow, which is the school colors.
Okay. I just feel like the heat, when we have the turf and the sports fields that have the darker colors, they let off a lot of energy.
Yeah,
I
they
think it's
do.
getting really hot. And
There's like-
concrete, dark color concrete could become,
Yeah. And what we can do too is we can invite, these applicants in at our next meeting.
Yep.
On the 26th. And we can ask them these questions. I don't want to speak for that. I think that's what I saw.
Yep.
But, without them really here.
Yeah.
But again, this is good, workshop some questions, so when they
Exactly.
come in, we can just be efficient with it.
that was my thought, just to kind of throw them out there and.
Yeah. I was personally hung up on parking spots. Not really a big fan of that, and I don't know that it fits into the operation.
You mean the one that they're so close to the hockey, the field, that's the one, the court, that's right, basketball court, is that what your concern is?
My concern is using CPA funds to make parking lots,
Ah.
because that's not what it's for.
Okay, I get you.
I understand why, but I just wonder if there's something else we can do, so we're not building another Taj Mahal parking lot like we did at Shanahan. Again, that's my own personal thought on it. I mean,
So I'm wondering about, as far as a parking lot, to your point, Adam, so the school has a parking lot in the front, and as I recall, there's still one on the side.
Yeah, so if you look at there's a picture in the
Yeah.
application there.
Yeah.
And where all the, hopscotch and four
Right.
squares drawn.
Yeah.
I believe that's the area they're talking about for the parking lot. And they've moved those games down to the other end of the basketball court where it says new play area.
Right, so when children,
It's like a catch-22 too, because this is almost a walkway for the students and they go out and play on the playground
well,
and have
that's
their
what I'm
recess.
thinking.
So like
But they usually block off the driveway. It used to, when I was teaching there, they block off the driveway so cars could not go
Right.
in the back.
Well,
this-
so they're looking for after hours and,
Yeah, the
weekends
weekends.
or what have you. So, I mean, I could be talked into it, but like my initial gut says no.
Yeah, well, we could certainly question that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Where
so,
else would they park?
Well, they could park in the front of the
parking lot?
school.
They could park in the parking
They
lot.
have to walk,
There's a
they
big
would have to walk.
You
from
get the
existing
exercise by
parkways.
actually walking.
so.
How many parking spots would that be, do we
So,
know?
yeah, it doesn't say anything about it's
No,
just
it
saying
was-
it's milling and paving the lot. It
Yeah.
doesn't say anything about making parking spots there.
It does in the words.
It does.
It says,
No one paid.
it was kind of stuck in there.
And so going over there a lot, that's a tight area, it's narrow.
Yeah.
See, there's not a lot of spaces to put there anyway. It's not as if people can park on both left and right. Majority of the people end up parking, which, next to where the basketball courts, or even using the basketball court, or parking next to this, behind, on the backside of the school and walking up. That hot top area, there's not a lot of cars that fit over there, and like I said, the kids are all playing, so there's not a lot of parking there anyway, so I don't know. I just assumed it was more of just a mill and repave because it's just as beat up as the existing
Yeah.
basketball court. Like, I don't see a lot of there's, most cars that go back there, they're parking in the grass, dirt area off to the side, and then kind of using the basketball court sometimes, depends on who's there.
Yeah.
They don't typically go all the way up, because that's where all the kids play and they run around.
Yeah.
So it'd be just something, a conversation we can have with the,
Yeah, no, like I say,
Worthwhile conversation.
I could be talked into it.
yeah.
One question.
Kim, did you have something?
Yeah, well, couple items. I was involved when they put the first playground out back. And it was 30-plus years ago, and it deteriorated, and they pulled it out. And then I was vice chair of the building committee when we put the big addition on the Bagnell School. And we built a parking lot off the end of the addition which is paved. Then we had some large boulders to get rid of, so we made a parking lot when you're driving into the school on the right-hand side, which takes 42 cars there. We had talked about paving out closer to the basketball court, and by state regulations, there's not enough room to legally turn a car around from a parking space out there. So that put the kibosh on that. And that pavement that goes out there never had a base put underneath it. It was just basically somebody graded and put a coat of binder on it.
You're talking about the area in between the baseball field and the,
Yes.
what's the existing
Yes,
structure?
so milling that will not solve a problem unless it's ripped out and put a proper base underneath it. That was just from
Yeah, no,
my years working on that
No, for
school.
sure.
that's
Six
a
years to
good
do
point to bring up, if you're planning on just milling it and throwing a fresh coat on, and then,
It's gonna last about the same length of time.
Yeah.
There's no base put underneath that. Because a lot of that area we use to reclaim soils to build and fill the new addition.
okay. Well, this, again, certainly things we can bring up. I'm gonna invite, Arthur and Rebecca to come in to the next meeting and speak on it.
I think one other question that I would have, sort of just generally, is I think folks are pretty sensitive to how much we spend in the school district and how much of the town's budget goes toward that. And I would imagine there would be questions from people in town about, well, why are we paying for this when we put so much in the school district, and the, primary beneficiaries of this are gonna be the students?
Get out of my head.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things is the fact that
The fact that
the
it's,
town owns Bagnell
No, understood.
in its entirety,
Sure.
doesn't own Pentucket.
No, I know.
So each town owns their own elementary.
it's a
The
valid
The
point.
school district runs it, and they probably have some responsibility for facilities, and I'm not exactly sure how that works.
It looks
and-
like the highway department has been maintaining that area and playground, and it's in.
Same
there.
thing with West Newbury, same thing with Merrimack.
Yeah, so I get the point.
It's something to consider, and not, I'm just, we're in a brainstorming phase right now.
All right, anything else? Ed, you got something?
Yeah, I do. I brought this up before. The ongoing maintenance costs. And it says ongoing maintenance, if ongoing maintenance required for the project, how will it be funded? And it'll be, the town already oversees the playground, adjacent fields to the highway department. Look, we can't keep putting the maintenance for the highway department. They have limited employees, and in the past, all of these projects, say, maintenance to be done by the highway department. And at some point, they're just not gonna be able to handle all that we're looking for the highway department to do, which would be another expense, where we're gonna have to hire additional highway worker or two. So, and then it says in here under maintenance, it says, any minor maintenance costs will be covered through the town, ensuring the facilities remain safe. But prior to that, that's minor repair, but minor maintenance costs will be covered by the town. Well, what about major maintenance costs?
I don't know the level of maintenance that goes into a basketball court. I would think it's minimal.
Well, sure, it's minimal, but what I'm talking about is like, all of these projects, over and over again, we're putting more and more work on the highway department.
No,
And they're pretty well taxed out as it is.
Well, your
No,
argument's a reasonable argument, but not as to this particular project, because, right, so they're not asking to do anything additional to what's currently being done, at least as far as I can see.
No, but there's some level too of like, if we're gonna put in a brand new playground for the school, to put the onus on the school to maintain it and to oversee it. I don't think you're out of line, and I think that, it could be presented.
Well, I agree with your comment that with this is minimal. And but it's like.
Well, this is status quo to what it is now.
But it's this one, and it's the next one. The next one's minimal too. The third one, that's another minimal.
Yeah,
Well, these
10
minimal
minimals make a maximal.
Expand. It's like, you know, okay, so it's a cup of coffee a day. But then when you get additional, it's more. So at some point, we're gonna have to hire additional workers because we're putting an awful lot of work on minimal staff that we have.
Well, this project, and I understand your broader point, and it's a fair point, but on this project, we have a basketball court where the proposal is to put a new basketball court. It's not to put additional, like the additional play area is, you know, a little hopscotch, you know, on the back end of it. This isn't the project for that argument. But I understand that argument. You know, and it's something that is a very fair point. It's something to consider across all the projects, especially when we're doing something that was not pre-existing.
Well, I respectfully disagree.
Okay.
This is minimal, but the next project's minimal. The project after that is minimal, so they all add up.
Whether we put in a new basketball court or not, there's still a basketball court there that needs to be maintained at the same level as if it was the new one or an old one. Maybe the maintenance is more on one that's got all busted up like DJ had mentioned. You know, I mean, if you go out there, you look, it's not a great spot.
Well, I can see you're absolutely, you're trying to rationalize the thing, and, but I'm just kind of concerned about all of these different maintenances that, sure, it is minimal.
When it's a new project, I'm 100%, I agree with your point. But this isn't really that.
No, but.
For this project.
But this one does present an option to have someone else do it too.
Well, that's a different point. And I hear what you're saying, and floating that to Pentucket when, you know, so much of our budget goes to them, I think that's not
So
reasonable.
two things on that, quick, on the latter, of having the town or the school maintain that area. The town or the school is, the district is still us. It doesn't matter whether it's the school doing it or our highway department doing it. It's the same monies, it's the same, which is to Ed's point, is the fact that it's still the maintenance costs that would be accrued. Ed has a very valid point, and he's brought it up on multiple projects, that when we look at these projects, we need to look at these long-term maintenance, what the heavy costs are, the light costs, and things like that going forward in all of them. But I also agree with you, Patrick, that the fact that we currently already have a playground there, we already have a basketball court that's beat up, and we're looking to fix it. They already maintain that. It's probably would be less cost in the beginning.
Right.
That cost, right, so we already have a maintenance cost that's on that facility, in that area, maintaining. But to Ed's main point was,
It's a good argument.
around the
It's not for this
board,
thing.
as we look at all of these and we
Right.
add new projects or add a new area, hey,
Right.
the highway department now has a brand-new Shanahan Field, has a
Right.
brand-new parking lot that
Right.
now they are maintaining that was not there before.
Agreed.
That's something that needs to be looked at
Right.
in the long term. Whereas this project in particular, yes, but I think to Ed's point was more of, hey, we need to really focus on maintenance long-term throughout all of our stuff.
100%.
And 100% agree.
Yeah.
But with this basketball court in particular, they are already maintaining it. It's probably more of a nuisance for them now than it would be for a new one, but the long-term cost could be higher because now you're maintaining something that is more updated, so the costs are gonna be higher on an updated thing. So just things that we have to look at as we go through these projects.
For sure.
My take.
It was a good.
Any other thoughts? All right, let's move on to the next one. We've got community garden water supply. Now,
Just plug it in right now, right?
so this one may have a couple of issues. I know they went before the select board to get approval to do this, and the select board brought up the question of whether the well that supplies the irrigation for the pines can handle the additional load. And they had asked the applicant to reach out to the water department to see what their take on it was, if tying into the water at the restrooms and piping it out there would be a better supply. So and I think that was just at that last meeting, or the one before, so I don't really expect an answer on that. Mike, do you have anything on that?
Are you in the pool, sir?
Still being worked on.
Still being looked at?
Yeah, haven't got all of the answers yet.
Okay, fair enough.
I only had one question. A number that jumped out at me, because this total cost is $12,800. Permit filing was $8,200. The cost of the permitting for putting in the water line with some sprinklers, $8,000 for permitting?
I've got that circled also.
Seems a little,
We're on town property with a town well. The guy that did the irrigation, is gonna do the irrigation, I looked at all his line items, everything. He's got everything from every nut, bolt, fitting. He's got everything listed, which is all reasonable. The contingency amount is reasonable.
Is
I
that,
don't understand, I need clarification on $8,200 worth of permits, because the town doesn't charge itself for permits.
Mike, feel free to hop in on this one, but
Yeah.
is that because we're close to the river? So these are state permits?
The project is within 200 feet of the river. So they may have to file a notice of intent with the Conservation Commission. The $8,200 has nothing to do with the town. That's pretty much the average cost now, between $5,000 and $8,000 for filing a notice of intent, when you have to hire a wetland scientist and any other engineers to support that application. So that's where that number comes from.
Mike, this is Kim. Was that done when they put the irrigation system in the baseball field?
No,
That's within 200 feet of the river.
yeah, they violated the Wetlands Protection Act, and it was never found out.
Not that you just timed them out, Kim.
Hey, my house is within 200 feet of the river.
All right.
But I'm
Well,
above,
file your permit.
I'm above the 100-year floodplain.
All right, any other questions on the community garden water supply?
So by and large, I mean, if the plan is to have a community garden that's accessible to all, and I read that, well, the Bagnell Garden's kind of more or less just for the students, and there's something over by Nichols Village, but that's really just sort of for them. And if it enhances what that area looks like, and it's a one-time expense to, to basically, get this new functionality. At the end of the day, if the permits cost what they cost, right, I am predisposed to be favorable toward it. If it's gonna use that land, which otherwise wouldn't be used, and, be another thing. And if we're doing all this work on, on the pines to make it nicer, and people are gonna be there, then there's gonna be a lot of, it's gonna be exposed to a lot of folks that will like it.
When did he presented it to the selectmen? Who's gonna pay for the water if it doesn't come from the town well?
Well, that was my question, too.
Because there's no fittings in here for a water meter. This guy did a very clean job, I mean, you name it.
Yeah, I think the intent was to come off the irrigation system that's there now, and the question was brought up whether that irrigation system can handle an additional load.
Yeah.
And to kind of look at town water supply as a secondary option.
Well, then
And like-
you're gonna
like-
do metering, and then you're gonna say, okay.
Oh, no, 100%, that's my next
Which gardener
question.
has to pay the $26 this month?
Well, and this goes,
water.
this goes to the ed point that we were just talking about, if we're putting in a new project that's gonna tax the town, then, then that's something that we need to at least
Yeah,
consider.
so I just had a question. I didn't realize that those fees were that much money. I'll put it nicely.
Yeah. Oh, I was glad I don't live near the river.
So following on that, because I do have that, there is a water meter with the transmitter that's built into the,
Oh, is there?
yeah, into the cost. It's towards
Okay.
the end. Mike, was there any, do you know of any thoughts
Oh,
of
yeah.
how that's gonna be paid? Is that just gonna be donations from people that are using it? Is there gonna be some type of, it's a community garden, but do you have to pay some type of fee, annual fee to use it, or to be able to cover those costs?
You're talking about the water use?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I'm only speaking for, I'm not involved in this project, but I believe that the plan is to use the well water and not town water. It's just a matter of doing calculations and convincing whomever is in charge of the well water, which seems to be the highway department, but like I say, we haven't got that complete information from them yet.
okay.
All right, well, I think we can
Thank you.
certainly bring that up at the
When the
next,
applicant comes in.
next meeting when the applicant comes in. Elaine, you had a question? Yep.
And I don't know if I've missed it somewhere, but I'm just wondering, is this the whole community garden financial request? Is something else coming afterward? I guess I'm thinking about soil,
Yeah, so they did
plants.
so they did is it a feasibility last year where they said, yep, we can do that, and they proposed putting in raised beds or whatnot.
Right,
And I don't believe anything's been built, so this would be get the water supply there, and then I imagine
there'll be another
either volunteer or another
request.
request
Okay.
to do the actual beds.
So all we can address is what is here and what is being asked for.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, fair point, though.
Yeah.
If there's nothing there to water, why are we putting a water supply to it?
Well, I was
Or,
just-
if-
Well, I
or
was
what
just
are the plans to
wondering, I
do it?
didn't-
Fair.
Right.
I didn't know if there was some arrangement or soil testing had been done and I just missed something, because,
They did
I-
do that last year. I can dig up the report and send it to you if you want to see it.
okay, I don't know that I would have known that, but maybe. I just was a question.
Yeah.
In terms of additional costs that might be coming forward, which is fine, but I didn't know if this was supposed to be the whole thing.
No, this is
It doesn't appear to
just,
be.
just appears to be the water supply to
Okay.
me.
Gotcha, thank you.
All right. Anything else on the community garden water supply?
I was well surprised coming.
All right, moving on, 2026 Crosstown Trail.
Blasted trail.
So this is an updated trail request that does not include what we had a discussion on a couple meetings ago where the abutters all have a signed letter that says you are
we don't
not
want
using our, you're not using our easement.
Mike,
Or we're not giving you an easement, right?
please
I wanted to
differentiate this from the
call
other
that out and let it all
crosstown.
be known now.
Right. Please differentiate this from the other crosstown project, Mike.
Okay. Again, I'm not necessarily prepared to give a full presentation on this.
Yep.
But, you know, at the last time, the routes that were going to be originally proposed weren't favored. So what the town administrator did back in March or April of last year was to hire or to get a consultant to give us a alternate way of getting out to Center Street and all of the things that would go along with that. So that was the proposal that I put, the estimate that I put in this proposal. And it's the major cost of it. Now, it may not require everything that they said they were going to do, but this project pays for designing the trail, a notice of intent to cross some wetlands, a couple of bridges and walkways would have to be built, and also building the trail, which we had already had an estimate on. So that's what this comprised. So I think that this project is a better approach than the previous one. And it covers, doing the whole thing, all the parts that would be involved in it, if they were, like I say, if certain things were required, it's covered in this.
Are there any easements that are required or things along those lines in this project?
Oh yeah, there's always easements involved, but this
Like
easement,
from private homeowners?
oh yeah.
Okay.
But this one was proposed by consultants who said that, I don't, again, have this in front of me about what the
No, I
consultant
understand.
said. The consultant said that this is what should be done.
I understand. My
This-
concern is the
This is the
same
way
as,
it should be done.
my concern
Yeah,
is the same
go
as
ahead.
DJ's, that this project may not be so dissimilar from the one that received massive local objection in just our, last meeting. How different are the routes than what we had before? Because we told those people, oh, no, if you don't want to do this, it's not coming over in your land anymore.
It's nowhere near their houses. It's right on the line with Groveland and West Newbury.
Uh-huh.
And it only involves one homeowner that's over there, one property owner. I don't even know if the person lives there. And, that's the first thing that will need to be done is to get that secured.
Right.
Mike, would you be closing out the other one? The open
Not
community trail
yet.
project, or crosstown trail project, rather?
No, because at least here's my opinion. I don't want to close that one out because if this one fails, which I don't think it will, but if this one fails, I would like to proceed with the old plan and obtain grant money from outside, which is going to take a lot longer and be a lot harder, but, so that's my plan, but, depends on what the committee thinks.
So if this particular proposal were accepted, then you would be amenable to closing out the other proposal, I presume?
Yes, yes.
Mike, before we vote and, on this in the future meetings, or even, obviously bring it even to town meeting for a vote, have you sent a notice to the abutter that this is an easement that is needed?
As I say, I believe that the consultant worked on this. I'm just taking what the town administrator put in that estimate. So, what I can do is I'll contact them and just see, but I believe from what they estimated that they already said this was the way to go.
Meaning, is that, and I'm sorry to split hairs, is that to mean that you think the consultant reached out to the homeowner and got sort of tacit approval?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right, I
That-
just want to
that would be-
understand.
That's my impression, Patrick, but it may
Okay,
not be
okay.
true. That's why I will contact them.
Oh, would Rebecca possibly know that?
Could know it, I don't know.
Okay.
I'd say fair to say we can have an answer for our next meeting in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean,
Okay.
it's a good question.
Yeah.
It's an important question.
And I would be strongly opposed to approving a project that already has something approved for it unless there was wording in here that if this gets approved, the other one goes away automatically without, I don't like the idea of having two open projects for the same thing. That just doesn't sit right with me.
No, I don't have any problem with that, Adam.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
Any other questions on the,
Okay, we
Okay.
got two down here.
okay, who wants
We
to go
haven't heard
first?
from the right side of the room.
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, basically, I'm looking on the page where it's got segment 1, 2, 3, and 4 listed. And it basically, they want to put the trail across Martha Cadell's property in West Newbury and Groveland. And then it also, in segment 3, it's through DeHulla's Estates and Woodcrest Drive in West Newbury Conservation Area. And there's basically some wetlands there, which restricted development within Groveland. And you have to venture into West Newbury to get around so you can get back into Groveland to get out to Crane Pond. Would this entail easements, which cost money? I don't know if the residents of Groveland would like to take some of their CPC money to pay easements in a different town. That's basically my only,
It has a breakdown. Does it have easement costs in there?
I didn't see that, Bill.
as we got on task
Legal costs.
6.0, creation of easements, $5,000. 2 pages down the line. So, that is only, we've got a lot of very studious town residents that would, why are we paying for something that's not in our town? And they'll bring that up at a town meeting and there'll be a big hoopla about it. Okay, Ed, it's yours now, I guess.
Under this project description, in order for this desired trail alignment to proceed, agreements are needed with a small collection of private property owners. And I know we had had some people, I think it was similar to this, that it was going to encroach on their property. How far away is this trail going to be from people's private property? Any idea there? Because it doesn't really show it on the map. But
I believe there'll be some level, just looking at the map, it looks like there's one, maybe 2 parcels that'll abut to some level, but we're kind of all asking the same question here. I think message has been received, and I'd say let's move on, and we'll get answers on that during the next meeting. Give a little time to gather the information.
also, this, where's the parking going to be to access this, this trail? Because it looks like it starts on Main Street. When you can't be parking on Main Street, is there anything set up for a parking area? Look, that was the same thing, same problem that we had with the rail trail, is when they put the rail trail in, and it's a nice trail, but there's no trailhead parking. And I know it was brought up, the fact that, well, they could park at the Bagnell School, or they could park at the Shanahan Field. Well, obviously, they didn't do that, so we had to put in a parking area at, on the town property where the town pump station is. So is this gonna be put in with no parking, Mike?
The parking will be across Main Street at the in Pentucket. And the parking lot, just as a note, the parking lot that was put in for the community trail didn't cost the town anything. That was negotiated with National Grid, I believe.
So if I heard you correctly, where the trail starts here on Main Street, the parking is going to be at Pentucket?
Yes.
Well, that's a good distance away. That's a good distance away. How about the other end of the trail? out,
Hey, Mike, doesn't this also abut Nichols Village where there's a lot of parking?
Yes, yep.
What was that?
The trail, this proposed trail looks to abut Nichols Village where there's a ton of parking.
That's private property up there.
Also true.
So do we need permission from Nichols Village to people accessing the trail to park on their property?
Well, we have to talk to Nichols Village anyway, and we'll bring that up with them, I guess.
Well, I
But there's
think
no
prior to-
parking, no parking is scheduled for
I think
Center Street.
Prior to the application going forward, we need an okay from Nichols Village that we can use their area for parking. But what about the other end? And like was brought up, I think Kim brought it up about the easements. Normally, that's done beforehand. And I'd like to know how far away it's going to be from people's private property, because the group that was in here a while back was concerned about people walking, not only walking through their property, but also abutting their property. And I think that needs to be looked into. And one final question, Mike. Give me a second to find it. The notice of intent, the permit application, $8,200. That's the same as on the last project. Is there a reason that it's the same?
I think he said that was going rate for it.
That's
on the
going
last
rate?
project, yeah.
Well, what,
What, because it's near wetlands?
Yeah, I believe it's a
cross-
bridge crossing wetlands.
Yeah.
I still think there's a lot of questions on this that haven't been answered.
Absolutely.
Well, like I said, this wasn't about answering questions tonight.
Yeah, we're
No, understood.
getting it out there.
Thank you for all the questions.
Thanks for ruining my vacation. I'll be
Right.
answering questions all week.
And you asked him why he wasn't having a picture for us.
All right. Are we good on that one? Can we move on?
Moving on.
Oh, boy.
Moving on. Next up, Hand Tub Museum.
Take it away.
Well, this is the funniest thing. I'm not really that, I think it's funny.
Okay.
It is, they did Old Nancy when Raleigh, back in the day, so we're still wanting those hand tubs to be treasured.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand it at all.
It's been voted for several times. I
Yep.
put forward a project to finish it.
Finishing them.
Finish,
So we don't
done.
have to talk about it
The end.
anymore.
Take it away.
That's my own.
That was my pitch.
That was the pitch? Okay.
I got a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
I was heavily involved in the hand tub years ago when it was stored at South Station. And I was the captain at South Station. And I actually got it pumping water through the pump and through the nozzle that basically was made in Paul Revere's shop. In the restoration, you've got listed of stripping it, repainting, repairing the wood, some gold leaf embellishments, and so forth for preservation. Is there any funds in there to possibly change the leathers for the pump that it could actually make it work again?
That was not something, the thing's in pretty rough condition. I don't know.
Oh, I know it.
I don't, we were
I-
not going with
We
it.
flooded it and soaked it for 2.5 weeks before we got it to work.
Yeah, I don't think we're going for functionality as much as
Okay.
decoration.
That's the simple answer.
A decoration, yeah.
Next item was basically, it was taught that when the other renovation was gonna go on, they were gonna have some humidity controls, because it technically is a historic piece. And I didn't see anything listed in,
Well, they did put in an air conditioning system in there.
oh, okay, so it does have.
It has a mini split right in the
Okay, so
room.
it does have humidity controls?
Yeah,
Okay,
And-
I
and
didn't
film,
realize,
film on a window to cut down on the.
cut down on the
Yeah.
UV.
so. Okay, well, that was the only questions I had.
All right.
I spent a lot of hours. In fact, you remember those days.
I do.
Then you get some young guys on the department that show up at the station. All right, you guys are gonna pump.
I was gonna ask, do they use this thing? I'm sorry.
How do you really
I
feel?
wasn't-
I think you belied your position on it.
Well,
Like, I mean, there are pump people who run out with these old timer things
Yeah, yeah.
and pump.
Yeah,
and-
if we were looking to do that, we'd be looking at hundreds of thousands of dollar restoration.
Oh, no, I wasn't suggesting that we do it, but I mean, it was
Yeah,
in the
we're-
realm of like,
We're gonna shine it up. This is a museum piece, not a
we're gonna
functional
shine it up, put it in
operating.
a box and be done with it.
Yeah, it has a really cool history. I've learned a lot about it, since working with these
actually,
people.
it's about 30 feet behind you right now.
Spraying at me.
Any other questions on that one?
Well, so this is historical preservation. It's one of the most known pieces in town. To get it into a place that sort of makes it museum quality, that's,
Yeah,
you know,
actually,
and you get it done, and it's
it's
a
in
project that's been on.
It's in the top 10 of the oldest pieces of equipment in America.
Yeah. I mean, this is a project that people have been trying to get over the line for a long time, so if someone can actually finally do it, then we can be done with the project and have something that is, of high quality that people will be interested to see. I think that's a good idea.
And we have the historic funds. We don't have a lot of historic property that I know we're working towards doing that.
Yeah.
Putting things on the registry, but
It's a very good point.
that's what the CPC is for, and we have the funds in order to do that. And like I said, I know Washington Hall, they're working towards that stuff, so.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll turn out beautiful if it gets approved.
And times I could be stupid
I
or
just want it to turn out fast.
Timely. Timely and on budget.
Any further questions on the veto?
Yeah,
All right, moving on. Next
Veto the
one
veto.
up is Perry Park Phase 2. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this one because
he's gonna be here next.
yeah, in the town administrator update, they're kind of still working it. There's no real design, and she's going to come in and present it once there is. But this is, continuation of Phase 1 that was just completed. I mean, we can talk about it a little bit, I just don't want to, I don't really have anything on this one until we know what the plan is. And I believe this is not actually building anything, but just design.
It was
Then there'll be a Phase 3 to build.
And the design that's in here looks nice. I mean, it'll be a nice little cut through. It would.
I thought there was supposed to be like a bandstand or something like that.
Looks like a gazebo.
I
in
think
there,
they
yeah.
put like a gazebo and some art type of,
Yeah.
The Glen. But it's just conceptual, right? That's.
Yeah,
Adam,
yes, sir.
the Glen.
this is a recreation category project, right?
She's got it listed as historic, recreation, and open space. I feel like it leans more towards open space than anything.
Well, it can't be open space because it wasn't purchased with open space funds. So it can only be recreation in history. So the question I have is if it comes under recreation, I don't know that we can include building anything because under the recreation category, you can't build things.
Yeah,
So,
I look at the open space and I'm looking at the little chart there. And we can create open space and preserve open space, which I would argue is what this is doing, more so than
Preserve.
rehabilitating or restore, which it says you can't. Fair point, we can certainly ask for an opinion, but I could argue it both ways.
I had the same question, Mike, and I was thinking it actually fell under open space myself when I looked at the definition. But obviously, we would need to look into it.
I'll reach out to the Community Preservation Coalition and see if they can opine on it.
well, that would be fine. You see, just taking the Crosstown Trail project could have been open space because it's on an open space property, but that property was not purchased with open space funds. So we can't spend, that's always been the interpretation that we received. We can't spend open space funds on a property unless it was purchased with CPA funds.
Where
So-
are you getting that information, Mike, just so we can see where that comes from?
From Community Preservation Coalition.
Okay. Do you have like an email from them saying, hey, you reached out about something and they said, this is the result and this is why? Something
No,
like that?
if you go on if you go on the website, I believe you could see what it says about under open space.
Yeah, I'm
But-
gonna, just to cut the middleman, I'll just shoot it over to Stuart and ask him for an opinion on it. Like I say, you could argue it either way, because I look at it as we're creating open space.
Right.
Which is allowed.
Wasn't part of the plan, or the initial thing was the Civil War monument that was historical, yeah?
Yeah, there's some level, it could be
I
historic
mean,
as
the
well.
stuff that's in that island between the church and the park? The Civil War.
I'm not super familiar with it, but, like I say, I can reach out for an opinion, and we can certainly ask Stephanie these questions when she comes in.
Be happy to have
It's a good point, Mike.
All right. Any more questions on Perry Park?
Yeah, just a comment, if I can find it. We have the map here somewhere. Look, maintenance. Right now, that's a pretty straight cut for the highway department, but they're looking here at, as you can see, a gazebo, something else, I can't read it here. So they're gonna have to go around this stuff, they're gonna slow them down, rather than being a straight cut. So, that's all I'm gonna say, it's just gonna put more work on the highway department, that, they don't have the time to be doing this.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Right, and this is the kind of thing where that lands, because this is a new thing that wasn't there before, and now this is.
You're taking a
this is-
10-minute
this is-
job and making it a 10-hour job. I
this is
totally understood.
Your different thing, right.
So with that, how do we approach that? Do we have the highway department give their feedback and give us what the estimated time is for maintenance now? And then if we were to do this conceptual plan, how much additional time it would, or if they can even support it? Are they in support of it? Are they?
We can
do
certainly
is that how-
ask.
But even for this project
But-
or going future, like how do we talk about maintenance?
To Ed's point, though, yeah, we can do that, yeah, we can do that, yeah, we can do that. But at what point is it too much, and at what point is it taken away from something else that should be being done?
I guess we could just make a list of all the items.
Well, having the highway department weigh in on these things is useful. Like, so for example, in our project, in the trails project, when we talked about the big belly, that was something that the highway department was actually very much in favor of. And the placing of the units and the things like that. So we, you know, and I think it's sort of the right thing to work kind of hand in hand with them and say, you know, they know how many hours they spend doing the various things they do, and better than any of us, I would imagine.
For sure.
So,
Agreed.
having firsthand, hey, you know, what do you think about
The
this? And they
the only
say,
other thing
thumbs
that
up, thumbs down.
I had was a thought on that, is say we have, somebody gets hurt on the trail. If it's Groveland, that one, Groveland Police, Groveland Fire would respond. What if it's in West Newbury?
Oh,
You're
we're
talking
we're
about
back
that cross
to
round.
the cross round.
Rochester. Now, when I was in the fire department, when West Newbury called for mutual aid, we rolled. And they came here.
Yeah.
But this, I think, has got a little bit different texture to it.
No, but there's some level, just to jump back on that project, which I don't want to go backwards, I want to go forwards.
It just,
That's not a problem for
tie-
Perry Park.
Tying them,
no, it's
I
not-
think tying the trail systems together is a good idea.
I agree.
It gets you into West Newbury, now you go play on their trails that we don't have to maintain or mow or cut. And they can do the same with us, and, you know,
It expands everybody's opportunities.
And to that point, that's already happening on Town Forest. Town Forest is already partly in our.
Is it half and half?
It's, I don't know if it's half and half, but it's partially. So, the gentleman who did the map for Town Forest is the guy who's gonna do that work for us for free.
Yeah, well-
So, I mean, it's not always a bad thing when you're, you know, bumping up against your neighbor.
Yeah.
But back to Perry Park, like.
Yes,
that's-
please.
So what we'll do is we're gonna have Arthur in here anyway.
Right.
So we can pose that question to him. I'll make him stay till the end. I'll tell him it's gonna be a long one to pack a sandwich.
Yeah.
I mean, and we have to trust that our highway superintendent, and they'll give us honest feedback of, this is something we can support, this would be something difficult to support, we would need additional funding or more services. That's, we should rely on them as saying, okay, be honest with us here, is this something, what
Yeah.
we can do, what we can't do, is it gonna cost us, you know? And I know there's some unknowns, right?
Yeah, well, I just, you know, it looks one way on paper, and then when you see it built, you say, oh, shit, oh, look, they put that retaining wall there, now what?
Yep.
But I mean, we certainly take all the feedback from anybody.
And Rebecca's involved in all of this, right? So as a town administrator.
Correct.
So as a project manager, part of it, she would know and would give
Yep.
us the feedback.
Yeah, but we can certainly ask
Yep.
point blank. We'll have the man, the myth, the legend in here, so.
Ask about the drainage on the property, too. Drainage on that property. There was a-
Which,
Perry
Perry
Park?
Park?
Yeah, because there was a brook that, water runs through there, and actually, I don't know if on, out on Main Street, where that, Japanese knotweed is there, it seems to me, I remember that, filling up, with water, was plugged up, and it stretched out behind these two dwellings, that are on Main Street.
Okay, we can
But
certainly
I
ask.
don't see anything in here about any wetlands there. I thought I did before, but I can't find it now.
Well, we got 2 weeks.
Yep.
To take a look at this in deeper detail.
All right, in the interest of, I'm hungry, Pines Lighting.
I like it.
So this is a big one, and we've got it in here as a multi-year project, just because of the sheer size of it. You know, this started off as a couple of lights and went to all the lights,
Oh, yeah.
so that no spot is left out. But it adds lights for the football practice fields, it adds lights for the pickleball courts, the playground, the baseball field that doesn't have it, adds lights for the skate park, the basketball courts, and the replacement with new energy-efficient lamps for the softball field.
Yeah,
The-
I think
the-
it also does, doesn't it also make it so it's more accessible for events that use sort of like the area generally? Like, Pumpkin Fest and.
Yeah, absolutely, because, you know, the Pumpkin Fest is whatnot, can be over on that football area or any of the areas.
Yeah.
It certainly expands the amount of time that can be used, you know, wholeheartedly. The budget is high, because it has to be a multi-year, project. You know, I went towards the upper end of the estimates, just to cover for inflation and changes and things of that nature. And the other thing I did was that we had gone back and forth with Groveland Light about supplying the poles. I carried the cost of poles anyway, just in case something changes and they can't. But that could be up to over $200,000 savings if they can provide those for us.
I don't see your 8,200 for permitting on here.
I'm gonna,
It's not in the wetlands part.
I'm gonna ask forgiveness rather than permission.
Yeah, lights on the softball field.
They're already existing, we're just putting new ones on.
Oh, all right. There you go.
Maybe on the back of the other one.
I'll entertain any questions to whatever level I can, and go from there.
My
Adam.
only wonder was, oh, go ahead, Mike.
So I'm not quite sure how you can do this by spreading it out over 4 years. So would it be, you know, roughly $400,000 we vote at town meeting for this year, and then we'd come back with another project for phase 2, another 400, another one? Because it would seem like that's what we would have to do, because otherwise it's approving 1.6 million in one fell swoop, whether you're going to spend it right away or spend it over 4 years. So anyway, what I would suggest is that we think about bonding this project, since it's a significant amount of money. And that's perfectly allowable and actually could work quite well if we bonded it for 10 years. It wouldn't be so significant a number and cut into our funds, because we only have so much money under, you know, the general category, and it's going to be exceeded. So anyway, those are my comments on it.
No, that's a good theory. I'll have to look at all the moving pieces of that, but I don't hate it. And I think the more of this we can do in a chunk, the cheaper it's gonna be.
But talking to Rebecca about it, she had suggested that it would be it was likely to be the best proposed as a phased project. So breaking out what each phase looks like, and like you said, trying to get as much front loaded as possible to save, inflation costs and things like that. I think that's good, but again, it is, it's gonna be something that people are gonna look at and say, that's a lot of money for lights. And so, but.
And it is.
But the functionality piece of it is, this is something that's gonna help the town for decades, not years.
And it's also, it's lighting up 8 different areas of
Usable space.
Of usable space. It's not, it's not on one thing.
Right.
It's one of our main pieces in Groveland, is the
It's
pines.
in the
light on.
development plan, it's in, it's,
in the capital plan too.
right.
Obviously not tonight, but in the future. Mike, I'm interested in that bonding, what you're talking. I haven't heard that on this committee before, and how that works, and
What that might look like.
yeah, if it's spread over 10 years, you put it all up front, like, because if the town votes we're voting on approving 1.6, and if it's a phased approach, like you said, is it 400,000 the first year, how that all works. So I'm interested in that bonding thing, so, I was interested to hear how that all would play out.
Yeah, I can send you some info on that.
Awesome, thanks.
And I think Adam and I and Rebecca can talk about like how potentially you can do economies of scale. Like if you're buying multiple at the same time, you can save some money sometimes, some of that sort of stuff. So again, if we're putting this into portions, making the right intelligent decisions about what goes with what. And
Yeah, there's a certain level of infrastructure that has to get laid down before
Right.
you do anything. And the other thing we added into this project was engineering costs because of the scale of it.
yeah,
So that, the first thing we would hit would be the engineering and then the main infrastructure that's gonna make these things work. So phase one, you wouldn't see anything. You'd see a
Right.
couple electrical panels and some, but you wouldn't see any lights or anything
Right.
of that nature. But at that point, it lets you just bang, one thing at a time and go.
Kim wants to talk.
Yes, sir.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I spent 7 years on the, building the Pentucket as a Groveland rep. And I remember the day we had to approve the monies for the poles, for the lighting on the baseball field and also the stadium and so forth.
Yeah.
And I think there's 9 poles.
Yeah.
9 poles, the installation and erection of the pole was $1 million.
Yes, sir.
That didn't count the lighting. The lighting
Right.
company came in and pre-angled everything so that,
Musco?
yeah,
Yeah.
they did good.
This is half the price of that.
Yeah, so, but the only other question I had is, has it been approached with the town, are they gonna pick up the electrical costs? Or is this all
They-
gonna come out of
they-
different recreation departments?
They're going to, the town's gonna pick up the electrical cost, and they're in the process of reviewing field use permit fees, and they're gonna roll it into that. Now, these lights are also, they're not gonna, they're not gonna come on and stay on. It's only gonna be while someone is using.
Oh, yeah, I know, that's how it works up the street.
Yeah.
A question, on the, Mike Dempsey brought up about bonding. Is he looking for this not to come out of CPA, but the town bond it, or bond it and have it come out each year out of CPA?
Bond it and have it come out from here. But I like.
Yes.
That allows us to do it all in one swoop.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions. that,
Sure.
I know that, it talked about extending hours, which is what the lights are about. So I'm just wondering, like, how late will it be extended? And, I mean, I know that I don't know how much that would affect the people that live in that area. And I know it's supposed to be respectful of dark sky principles.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering about that, how late it's going to go, who does the scheduling? Like, is that a town employee that would do the scheduling?
The town administrator does the field use
Okay.
permits.
All right,
And I feel as though the hours could be negotiated or figured out.
so who decides that, is that just something
Probably the
that we're
select
going to
board.
see how that goes as it moves forward, or do we have, I mean, I'm just asking questions.
Yeah,
'cause I
it's-
don't know how you do
I
that.
don't really have the answer for you. I don't have like it'll go till 11 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
it'll go until 9, I don't know.
Yeah,
I know that at Pentucket, it was a 10 PM cutoff.
Correct.
10 PM.
Yeah,
Pentucket.
Pentucket High School, the new field
Yeah.
is 10 PM.
So I think this is where I also read that it would allow more practice facilities.
Yeah.
So I know the town also has contributed to the Pentucket school lighting and facilities and practice. So, so would Pentucket also be renting from the town of Groveland to use?
So I believe the baseball team does practice on the baseball field,
In Groveland?
in
Or-
Groveland.
Okay,
And then Pentucket youth football, separate from the school, just the area youth football practices on the big open field over there.
okay.
I think the youth football team currently rents lighting.
They rent light
They
towers.
rent light
Oh, I
towers
think that was in
for that.
here,
Yeah.
yeah.
And my understanding is they've said that they would be willing to contribute something toward,
Because they're paying for those light towers for rental and fuel every year anyway, and they would rather contribute that money into a field use fee to turn a switch on.
Yeah, yeah. And then if other organizations did rent from the town, this is town property,
same
right?
thing.
So all the insurance, all the liability, all that stuff is already, we'd already be protected because it's
Right.
town
Correct.
property.
But to Ed's main point on all these things, right? You know, like this is a way to recover, the, you know, the use cost and then some. And so this is, you know, it's a big expenditure out front, but there is some back end, you know, filling up the coffers back.
I only had one more, how, the funding part of it, not for this particular, but when I put all the numbers together for all the general fund projects put forward, if they all were approved at town meeting, we would be in the general fund, and that's, actually put the Perry Park in open space and not general, so I'd have to add another 60,000. But we would be in the negative 546K.
We can't approve them all.
So that's where, when the bond is floated, is that, that's where the wonder of all of it goes. Like, how do we approve something we don't have the monies for, but the bonding covers us, and then we pay it by how that breaks down? But that was,
Yeah.
putting the numbers together, I saw that there's no way that we can approve everything. We're at negative 546, right? And you add another 60,000 on there, Perry Park has to go to general as well.
Yep.
So just food for thought for everybody, that, you know, there's a lot of applications here that are fantastic, that the people want to get
I
involved.
mean, we're putting a lot of lights up at the historic Pine Speedway is what I see.
Historic it is.
Fair point. Mike, that bonding idea is a great idea. I'm gonna look into that and see if
And-
that's
and-
something we could do. 'Cause
Yeah,
The point is, how does that break out? Do you have to approve the full 1.6, and then we still have to approve it?
Yeah,
So, but if it's bonded, does that not hit our
it
total
wouldn't
number?
hit. We just stop
It
making
shouldn't hit.
payments on the bond.
And I would make that assumption, but I don't want to assume.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's,
Understood.
Yeah.
Find out about bonding.
yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
Adam, the other idea also, you know, if we don't want to cut so much into our general account there, is to add, say, the restrooms to the bonding too. So it doesn't just have to be that one project. You could roll a bunch of projects into the bond.
That's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
I look at borrowing as not my
Ideal.
favorite thing to do. But I mean, the point is taken, and we can certainly play with the numbers and see how that works. All right, let's move on. We're almost at the end here. Shanahan Field restrooms.
My primary question about this ties with Project 11, which is the Washington Park restrooms. And I wonder if there's any cost savings to doing them together versus doing them separately. So if we're worried about budgeting, maybe we're doing one of these this year and one of these next year, or, you know, something like that. So it would matter to me, at least as far as I was thinking about how to vote about
If
this
we're
stuff.
if we're
If we're
saving.
saving, if we're saving a bunch of money by doing them simultaneously.
Fair.
Yeah, I think there is, that's what we did, the hot topping, using the same company
Right.
for
But,
both, we would get
but
that.
she might have carried the full cost in each, and there'd be a savings.
Correct.
If they both get approved.
I,
But we just gotta make sure, to Patrick's point, they are both standalone projects.
Yep.
yeah.
And there's enough in there, and we're not counting on getting a rebate for buying 2 units if we only buy one.
Right.
I remember when we had the conversation with the people from the soccer, and we had talked about them looking into the possibility of putting,
4.
yes, 2 toilets in each unit with just a simple divider, because I don't want to be the one, although I used to coach the soccer down there
We, when
40
they,
years ago, telling 6, 8-year-olds that they can't go into the restroom until the other guy comes out.
no, understood, and we can ask, when they come in next meeting.
'Cause I didn't know if it would, how it would affect the cost. I remember speaking to them about
Yeah.
possibly making it a double.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you get twice the utility for a, marginal
You know,
upgrade.
or if you got one that's men's and women's or good boys, couldn't they put a urinal in there?
Yep. We can, again, we can certainly ask
And then
these.
the other thing, I didn't know if, I tried to read in here, the sewer is down 16 feet in the middle of Main Street. So they're gonna have to go down, dig down, tap it, which is great. But I didn't see any costs in there for total repaving that section of Main Street.
Another fair point, I suppose.
Well, you know, as long as they compact it good when they backfill them, and then, you know, just put some binder in there and then come back later and cap it.
Maybe that's on the, that area road's a little rough anyway. That might be on the,
It's not that rough, I drive it every day.
well, I'm wondering where that lives on the, street paving plan.
Needed Bondwood to-
Oh, I don't know.
You'd assume that the utilities connection, part of that 30,000 would include, if you have a company coming in and doing the digging, and that part of that is all paving, that's all part of the project.
Yeah,
It should be.
30,000 doesn't seem like enough.
It's just a, yeah.
Well, the power they can get from the poles right on that side of the street.
Yeah, they already have power over there.
And they got power over there anyway.
But-
Water can be underground, coming in from Shannon parking lot. There's a water tap right there.
Estimated one-way transportation cost to site, quote, any guesses? 25 grand for bringing stuff out once. Anybody got a hauling company?
I got a trailer and a truck.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, I'll do it for 20. All right,
Ever got an oversized permit?
right, exactly.
yeah. fair
Those
enough.
are 10-footers.
Cool, Sarah.
So will the town take responsibility for like, you know, cleaning and replacement of toilet paper and?
Yes.
They take care of all that?
Yep.
Is that the highway department too?
No, that is
Sort
the
of that minor
building,
details at the-
That's the soccer league.
Steve,
Cemetery,
is he cemetery?
is that cemetery?
No, I think he's the building superintendent or
So
building
that-
and grounds.
They
So we-
currently already do that.
So, okay, so we already have someone on staff that would
He
take care of
does, he
all
does
that?
town hall, he does the Pines.
Okay.
So we'd just be adding these two onto it.
He already does Shanahan.
He already does
Yeah,
Shanahan,
Shanahan's
correct.
Okay,
already
so that
maintained.
would
by-
just be adding one more new one, the Washington Park,
The
if
Washington
that was
Park
to
would
be
a new one.
approved.
Yeah.
But a valid point, maintenance.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know what bathrooms can look like, especially,
After children, absolutely.
it, you know,
I'm curious what the plan is to make these things last longer than 10 years. Because I'm not impressed with that was the lifespan of the other ones were. Now granted, they weren't the right ones for the particular
usage.
application, but
What about the Pines? The one at the Pines is okay?
one of the Pines is nice.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is in that ballpark instead of in the
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Shanahan Field ballpark.
would they ever, and I don't know cost-wise, I'm just, you know, I'm thinking about composting toilets and things like that where, you know, you don't even need plumbing for that.
I think the volume
Yeah.
at once
Would be too
is too
much.
much for that.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it, Adam, so, I
Well,
couldn't.
these are questions that the applicant probably has a good read on.
All right, anything else on the Shanahan Field bathrooms?
Does that also cover the Washington Park restrooms?
Yeah, we're gonna go real fast over that one.
No, this is a lot.
Trail improvements 2026.
All right, so this is a quickie.
Go with the trails.
Yep, I know. So this is quick. So this is really just possibly bifurcating what's already been approved, more or less. There may be, you know, again, we have to work on checking what the budget looks like and making sure we have hard numbers. But I just want to make sure that we're upfront with everybody about what we're spending and what we're spending on what. So I would say stay tuned on this. This may even get pulled depending on how our budget looks on the main project. And on the main project, we're getting a lot of community support, so it's making things cheaper than they might otherwise be. And never mind that the quality is better, than what we would buy. So that's, it's all good news. So stay tuned is what I would say on that.
The one thought I had on this is, and it goes back to the 2025 trail improvement project.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a breakdown of where we're at, what we're spending money on, what the plan is in order to get it completed
Yeah.
before I would even consider this.
Sure. And that is totally fine and reasonable.
All right. Any other questions on the, what was that called?
Trail
Trail
improvement
improvements
2026.
2026? Sorry, my
I
head.
like the idea that they're putting seats in there, because,
All right.
Right. Right, and just last thing, and they would match up with what you see on the rail trail. So the types of benches that we're putting are benches with concrete footings. It's not gonna be janky. It's gonna be the stuff that, it looks good, it matches, and it'll be stuff that can last for decades. And that's the key. If we're gonna spend the dollars, let's not be,
Right.
chintz out so we have to buy this stuff in 5 years.
Right.
And so you do it once, you do it right, and then you have it you have nice things for a long time.
I'm
That's
with you.
I like that.
All right. Next up, Washington Hall and the National Registry.
Okay. Actually, I have some good news.
Perfect. I love good news.
Yay!
Actually, I wrote a grant six months ago, and I just found out it was approved.
Oh, that's awesome.
Congratulations.
So that's my story. I don't need the CPA grant.
Oh, so we're done.
We're done.
Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you. I was in total shock when it came in the mail. I couldn't believe it.
Awesome. So you can get right on that now. You
Yep,
better hire them people before they change their price again.
Yeah.
I better.
Awesome. Good
That's
job.
so
Excellent
true.
news.
Linda, who approved the grant? Where'd the money come from?
Grant
What was the grant through?
question.
Through the Demoulas Family Foundation.
Really? Nice.
Awesome.
I think most of Groveland shops over there, so we support the stores.
That's excellent.
Your taxpayer dollars at work.
Awesome. Well, that's the best news all night.
Great job.
Easy.
All right.
Moving on then.
Next up, Washington Park restrooms. I think we hit on probably all the
Same
questions we're gonna
questions,
have
same
with
questions.
Shanahan. on
The,
this one.
the only additional one is this doesn't appear to be linking up to
There's no sewer.
There is no sewer at that section of
So
town.
that's an additional problem to deal with.
It's just a tank right next to it.
Yeah, okay.
But there's no sewer on Washington Street or Salem Street, Lannon Ave,
Less
any
expensive.
of that area.
Yeah, makes me wanna put a septic tank in at the other one too.
This is a separate building.
Yep, standalone little prefabricated building.
Right.
There's
Right now-
no
right now it's
space in the,
Porta potty right now.
there's no space in the Washington Hall for bathrooms that have bathrooms?
Washington Hall was, when it was remodeled, they tied one bathroom into
How many people are in there?
the south station, fire station
That's a long
septic
haul.
system.
Huh?
That's it, it's maxed.
That's maxed out.
That's a long way to
Oh, it's
walk
maxed.
with a child to go to the
Wasn't
bathroom
even legal to
through
do
up the hill
Unfortunately,
and Washington Hall's not always open.
that. I know.
They just put in the basketball court over there. It's really nice, like this is becoming a more usable area, again, with the master plan. This is consistent with making the areas
It was a busy
that are
place.
favored, nicer and more usable. Like, it's a good idea whether it gets done this year or next year or 2 years or 3 years down the road.
Oh, with me, I had nothing Boy Scouts, so we just went out.
All right, next up, we have set the date for the next meeting. I've
We already
got,
did.
We've already done that.
yep, January 26th, 6:30.
Perfect.
All right, other items not reasonably anticipated. Ed, anything?
No.
Kim?
No.
Linda?
No,
Patrick?
I have none.
DJ?
Couple things. No, I'm joking.
Leah?
Not for me.
Elaine?
Nope.
Mike?
Just a question on our procedure. So next time, at our next meeting, the project proponents will come in and present their project and answer any questions mostly have been brought up tonight, right?
Correct.
And then we will not vote on the projects at our next meeting, but vote on the projects in February, because we may ask the proponents to provide more information or to change their project, if to add something or subtract from something, right?
Yeah,
Does that
exactly.
sound reasonable?
I want to hold the vote till the last possible minute, especially with so many projects, just to make sure everything gets a fair shake at it. Because there are a few of these that are going to need more information.
Good.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right, we'll take a vote to adjourn. Ed?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Myself, yes. TJ?
Yes.
Leah?
Yeah.
Elaine?
Yes.
Mike?
Tell them.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned, 8:12 PM.
Good job.
Nice job,
I can't believe we got through it.
It's 70 degrees in San Diego. It's sunny, no ice, no snow.
What's that?